Hello, you guys, and welcome back to the Two Bestfriends podcast.
Sorry. My brain just glitched. So welcome back and happy Friday. We made it through another week.
We're here again, and we are sitting down and chit-chatting.
Yes.
And gonna go through some questions you guys asked us. So we just put on our Instagrams for you guys to ask us a couple questions about literally anything, not specific to any topic. So we'll go through a couple of those with you guys today.
We'll just pick like some of the ones that were maybe a little bit more like juicy or like things that we haven't kind of talked about on the podcast before.
Yeah, a lot of relationship questions.
Yeah, I feel
great.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about really like a lot of relationship questions just yet. So
Yeah.
we'll have like some episodes I feel like more specific to relationship, but this one's just to answer any questions that you guys asked on relationships.
Yeah.
So before diving into those, we're just gonna catch up with you and obviously catch up together and see how our week has been, because we're just now sitting down catching up. But how was your week?
What was my week? It's always like we always like get to this point of like, what did I do last week? I've had like a pretty good week. I would say like I spent like the last about week getting over that head cold I had last week, which would probably be my pit of the week, would just be like, you know, that like feeling when your head just feels like it's gonna like explode.
Yeah.
And you're like, just like, I hate that feeling.
Is it bad?
I mean, it wasn't like horrible. It was definitely like, I could tell that I like got sick from what? I don't know. Cause I wash my hands like 1,000 times a day, and I don't like hang around like different people that I always see. So I'm not really sure, but
Not that much.
we're good now. We're on the ups. So that would be probably my pit. And then I think my peak would be like a little self-win. I've lost like 7 pounds since being home from California, which was a question. But I like, it was just, you know, when you just like accomplish goals that you set out for yourself that kind of seem crazy in the moment. And it's never like I never created like a specific weight loss goal for myself. It was always just kind of like when I feel good, but it's kind of just like positive reinforcement that like you're on the right track and doing the right thing. So I was super proud of myself for that. I would say that was my peak. And just like, yeah, getting back into it and getting back to a place where I feel my best, like physically.
Yeah.
So,
Well, because you also went through in the beginning of this year, just like obviously moving back home, which takes up a lot like physically on yourself too, but also mentally. So I feel like you finally got your groove and you're just feeling good, and that's awesome.
yeah, getting back into a routine. And like, I feel like sometimes I struggle so much with like food. Like, it's not even like working out. Like, I will get to the gym every day, but eating sucks.
Everything.
The food is so hard. So that's like its own thing. But I'm just like, again, like just little wins and celebrate yourself when you reach those milestones. But yeah,
we love that for you.
yay.
It's so exciting. Well, yeah, I'm happy that you had the little win there. Anything else from this past week? No.
I don't think so.
Cool.
Do you have anything else?
No, but I'll go through my pit and peaks from this past week. I will say my peak was seeing the new movie that everyone's talking about. It Ends With Us. It was really good, but I could like go on a whole rant about it, which I already pretty much have on my TikTok. But it was really good. It was the first movie that I've seen that I've read the book first. And you never understand like where people mean like, oh, you have to read the book first. Like the movie's never as good. And like I get that now because the movie just wasn't as good as the book. But it was still fun to see a movie that I read the book first. So that was like a fun peek. I went with my boyfriend's mom and his grandma, which was fun. But obviously it was kind of weird because there were some scenes where they're like making out.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
But that was really fun. And I've gone to the movies like so much this year, which is kind of crazy because I feel like movies have not been that good to where you can go like.
I would agree.
But the last two have been really good, like Deadpool and It Ends With Us. So that was my peak. And then my pit, I could not find a pit from this past week. So I'm just going to go with something that like typically pisses me off on the daily, which is like people in the gym. Like again, this could be a whole rant, but just I think we need to have like a lesson on gym etiquette because I fear that some people don't know what gym etiquette is. And I mean, me and Kylie talk about this on the daily with the gym and people, but I just get really upset when people don't pick up after themselves.
Yeah.
For instance, like if you're doing like using the glute drive machine and you leave 3 plates on there, pick them up, put them away. Like the next person that's going to go there is not going to use 3 plates. There's things like that that piss me off. And then there's things like when people use a Smith machine, they leave all the plates on or leave the plates on the ground. And then there's like equipment's everywhere. And then people don't like wipe their stuff after. Again, that's just like, it's giving only child syndrome. And I can't handle it. I know that there is some sort of etiquette when you go to the gym. Like, it's not your gym. There's other people there.
I love when there's like a barbell fully racked.
Like, please.
Like the platform is completely set up, but there's nobody there.
No. And then you go, you're like, is someone using this?
No.
Like, they've been gone
for years. Yeah.
I just got frustrated at the gym the other day. I have been the last couple days, and I'm like, I cannot deal anymore. So that was probably my pit, but that's on the regular.
That's like an everyday occurrence.
That's an everyday pit.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Yeah, so gym etiquette's just like huge, and I just feel like people need like a class on it in the nicest way possible. So
I'm just gonna save myself from going down that rabbit hole because I'll get
like,
so
I could
angry.
say so much
Because like she said gym etiquette, and I thought about like 5 or 6 instances and like certain people, because it's always the same group of people too.
It always is.
It's the same people, and I can literally see their faces.
Or the supersetting of like 4 machines. You can't do that. Again, it's not your gym. Like,
Right.
I have not been able to use the abduction machine, like the hip abduction machine, in like weeks because someone's always supersetting it. Same thing with the leg press. Someone's going to the Smith machine, which is in our gym, the other side of the gym. It's like, you can't do that. And they do it anyways. And
I don't know how you don't feel bad
you just
too.
have to fucking suck it up. I'm like, I can't. Oh my God. But on other catch-up news, outside of like my pit and peak, which they can kind of go hand in hand, but this past weekend, I was craving crumble cookies.
Did you get it?
I did. Don't be upset.
Ooh.
Because every time I get crumble cookies, like I always get it with Kylie. But I was just like craving sweets. I was like, I need a fucking cookie. So I ordered crumble cookies for delivery because I was like, oh, this lineup looks good. It was the strawberry ice cream, the mint ice cream one, German cake, peanut M&Ms, and like a blueberry like crumb cake thing.
Yeah.
And I was so upset because they weren't even good.
No?
It's like when you go out of your way, you're like, okay, I'm gonna like splurge tonight. I'm gonna have the extra calories. I'm gonna spend the extra money. And then it's just like not even worth it. It's so upsetting. Like the only one I really liked was because they had the semi-chunk, or semi-sweet.
The chocolate chip cookie, yeah.
And that one was so good because I just wanted a chocolate chip cookie more than anything, actually. So that was the only one I ate.
When in doubt, just have a chocolate chip cookie.
Like, that's all. But
That's so frustrating. Did you get 4?
Yeah, just 4. I only got the blueberry one, which I didn't like. It tasted like a lemon cake cookie. So you would have loved it. It tasted more like tart. So it didn't give blueberry.
Again.
And then the strawberry ice cream one was actually really good, but it was chill. I don't know. It was okay. I didn't get the mint ice cream. And then I got the peanut M&Ms, or not peanut, it was just M&Ms and chocolate chips. That was fine too.
I hope you messed that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bummer, honestly. I was like,
I literally can't stand, like, crumble cookies can be so, like, it's either a hit or a miss. I want to, like, go on the website. And Gina yelled at me, like, 4 weeks ago because she was talking about something serious, and I was, like, on the crumble cookie website scrolling through the flavors.
I'm gonna return a favor. Right?
I was, like, I was so distracted. Like, I don't know what it is.
It was, like, I don't know, you're so excited, and then it just isn't good. And I didn't even eat them. I ate just the chocolate chip one.
What the heck?
Okay, weird.
Why didn't you invite me over?
Because it was, like, 10 o'clock
That's
at night.
shady.
It was 10 o'clock on a Saturday.
Fine.
And I
I'll
was
forgive
like,
you.
I need a cookie so fucking I was like, I can't wait for Kylie.
Okay, wait, but those are the nights I miss, like, living with her because it would be, like, 10 o'clock and me and Gina would be like, holy cow, like, we need, like, something sweet
right now.
And, of course, like, I'm not gonna say no.
Like, that's the thing. Kylie never said no. Kevin says no. Like, you can't say no to me.
No, dude, like, that is my weakness.
It was just I needed it so bad that I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat all these cookies by myself right now.
That's amazing, actually.
Yeah, but I didn't end up eating them. I just had like a couple bites. It was
That's so unfortunate.
I know. But anywho, and then also, I saw a trailer that Selling Sunset.
September 6th.
Yes, I'm so excited.
I can't wait.
I need some drama.
I literally, Gina got me hooked on Selling Sunset like senior year maybe.
Yeah.
And we just binged them. I'm like obsessed.
Obsessed. It's so like reality TV wise, it's up there for real.
I think it's maybe my favorite.
Like that,
Like,
and the Kardashians. Like,
oh yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
I love the drama.
And there's a lot because
Yeah, there's a lot coming out more not like this season, I think. But I'm excited,
I cannot wait. September 6th is only like what, 3 weeks away?
which is weird. That means you're almost 24. You know, I won't go on that
In
tangent.
like a month. So crazy.
So yeah, that was everything that I collected from this past week.
It's more than me. I mean, I could go on about like random stuff, but
I just want to take like a couple things. I was like, oh, that happened. But yeah, that's it from me. So if we want to go into the questions, we can jump
yeah, we can go ahead and get into some questions.
and dive into.
Yeah, some of them, like we said, like most of the questions that we got are like pertaining to like, I feel like relationship advice. So
They are.
we'll just like go through them. But if we like repeat ourselves,
Yeah, I probably will.
yeah,
No, I know.
we could sum up on like a light note, maybe.
Light note. I don't know which one of these are light. None of them are. Okay. How did you like living in California? She said, "Let's go light."
Okay. So the question was, how did you like living in California? Did you move back to Illinois?
Drum roll, please.
There's not like that much tea here, okay? I'm sorry. Like I know like some people want the tea. Okay, California was amazing. I literally like loved it. Like which is shocking to me too because like I'm a homebody through and through. Always have been. But California is probably one of the most like beautiful places I've ever been. Like it's stunning. It's my dream because it's sunny every day and the vibes are just vibing and there's palm trees and you can literally go anywhere and do anything and like 1 or 2 hours away and you're in a new, if you feel like you're in a new state or in like a new town and it's so like you never run out of things to do.
Yeah.
So I love that. And just like you just get used to living there. I don't know. I think the people were like the biggest adjustment for me because like we've said before, like people on the West Coast are just different than like Midwestern people. But like weather-wise, amazing. I met some awesome people and like it was great. And it was great. And then I am, yes, back in Chicago.
Back home. I'm so upset that I didn't get to go out there.
We'll go.
To like visit while she was there.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We'll come back.
But it's okay. We're gonna go.
Because like I didn't really go to Southern California, so like we could go.
Yeah, but I also want to see Northern California too.
Well, I would go back there.
Yeah. So anywho, but
yes, I am back in
I'm
Illinois.
selfishly so happy she's home. So yay me.
Cat's out of the bag.
Cat's out of the bag, guys. And we all were dying for the tea. That's the tea. She's home with me.
This is my one and only PSA that I am back home in Chicago.
This is the only time she'll state it to everyone.
Yeah.
So you're all welcome. There's the tea for you.
There's the tea. I'm dropping the mic. I'm done. That's it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well that she spoke. The woman has spoken.
So funny. Okay. Next question. Gina, I'll ask you this one because I really can't answer it. How do you like living with your boyfriend? What is the biggest struggle and the best thing about it? Love the pod.
Oh,
thank you.
Thanks for loving the pod.
Oh, we love our supporters.
I'm done. Well, to answer your questions, living with my boyfriend is everything and more. I would say it changes your relationship so much in the best way if all goes well. But I think it's definitely just what is needed. Like we were been together for 5.5 years, and we just needed to actually see if this was the real thing. And living together definitely shows that, and it's been so much fun. You get to live with your best friend. Like what's better than that? So it's been fun, and you just get to do life. And every other day, like I'll be sitting here like with my boyfriend on the couch and I'll just be looking around. I'm like, we like live together. how cool is it that we have our own space? So it's just really fun. Like that's what I always tell people. It's like fun, and you're just gonna get to create a life together. So it's been really nice. Of course, like you learn things, but honestly, it hasn't been hard. Like I could go on about this topic in a different episode about like how to live with your boyfriend, how to make it go seamlessly or whatever, but it can get boring if you don't try to hang out and stuff. So I feel like that's a whole nother like episode.
Yeah.
But I would say like there hasn't been anything that's been like an issue. I don't know. I work from home, which is nice, so I do get a lot of my alone time when he's at work. So I think that does really help, because I feel like if I was constantly around him 24/7, there might be more issues. But I'm pretty much like allowed to have my alone time throughout the day, and then when he gets home, I'm really excited, and then we get to hang out. So I don't know. Long-winded answer. It's fun. It's exciting. We get to create a life together, and it's everything we needed for our relationship. So nothing really has been too bad so far. So I don't know. Is that a good answer?
What's the biggest struggle?
Biggest struggle would be, again, like making time to hang out. Like we have dinner together every night, and like that's hanging out, but making it intentional time to hang out, because you can get so used to like just going through the motions, and that's what you don't want to happen. So I would say making sure to actually set aside time to have like date nights, but they don't have to be like always going out to dinner and doing fancy things. So I'd say like sometimes like just going through the motions could be the struggle. And then other like little shit like Kevin not putting his laundry in the hamper. I mean, I don't know. Like that'd be the only thing. The biggest struggle is just making sure you make time.
Yeah.
Intentional time. Because if you don't, then that's when things can kind of be like, being more like roommates than a couple. And you don't want that to happen. So I don't know if that's a good answer, but that's what I would say. I don't know what else to say on that topic.
That's a great answer.
Okay. Amazing. I don't want to be put on the spot anymore.
Okay.
I'm kidding. But next question. Kylie, she's giggling over here. Why are you laughing?
Well, because you're not being put on the spot. I mean, I could also answer that question, but I'm not going to.
Right. We won't have you answer that question. That's okay. Let's see. Okay, let's ask Kylie this question, because she says she has a good answer for it. Can you be in a relationship and have an actual friendship with someone of the opposite gender, like quote unquote best friend type friends?
Okay, why'd you say I have a good answer? I said I have a controversial take on this.
Controversial take, good answer, same thing.
Not really. Not at all. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna get hate for this, but I believe that like some people in your life, like if you have like a friend of like the opposite sex, so in my case, like a guy friend, I do believe there's a world that exists that you do not have to like have feelings for this person, and you guys can just both mutually be friends. Like I don't think like being friends with a guy always leads to like somebody catching feelings. That's just my personal opinion, because I know how I am, and I can be friends with people and literally have zero interest in being with them like in a romantic way.
Yeah.
Of course, you can't control how other people view you, so that's where the lines get like a little bit blurry. However, you should know when to like cut that off if it becomes a problem. Also, it just depends on if you're in a relationship or not. Like I'm assuming this person's saying if you're in a relationship, can you have a friend of the opposite sex?
Yeah, can you be in a relationship and have an actual friendship with the opposite gender?
Yeah. So I'm gonna say yes, because I have been in that situation before where like I've had guy friends while being in a relationship and it's never been an issue. But that's also picking good people in your life that don't give you like that vibe that they're like being disrespectful or like cross a line with you. I also think if you're friends with a guy that's in a relationship also, like can you have like, that's another question.
Okay, but like to dive deeper into let's dive a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Having friends, so yes, you can have friends with the opposite gender, right? That's a given. You should be able to trust your partner to be friends with the opposite gender. But the question is like best friends. Because to me, in my personal opinion, I don't think my boyfriend should have another girl best friend. I should be the girl best friend.
You should be.
So like that's more so the question. It's like, have you ever been in a situation where like you are so close to this person? Like, yes, you're like really close friends, but like to the point where sometimes you're going to this person more than your significant other.
No.
Like that best friend type energy, like how I go to you with everything, but
No.
like, say you're a male in this situation.
No, because in that situation, like, I don't think, like, to kind of maybe just to make it very plain and simple, if your partner is not your best friend, you are in the wrong relationship, so you're seeking that in somebody else.
Yeah.
That's maybe better. So, like, I'm always, like, just picturing, like, friends because, like, again, like, you should be with your person because they are your best friend. They should be, like, your first person you go to for stuff.
Yeah.
If you can have, like, other friends, like, of course you're gonna have, like, mingle in groups and, like, but, like, to a best friend extent, I don't know how, like, that would work.
It's tough. I personally, myself, I wouldn't be comfortable with it because again, I think my partner should see me as their best friend and me only, like in the sense of like the opposite gender.
Yeah.
But I know if it's case to case, like we'd have to know like the full story because there could be like family best friend type situations, like you've grown up together in diapers and like, but it's the opposite gender, like that's different too. So I don't know, but in just a normal sense, like I don't know because basically like your significant other is like your best friend that like you get intimate with. So it's like, what's the difference between the other person that you're not? You know? So I just think there's a fine line. That's how I see it. That's how a relationship is.
I think a good way to tell whether that's an issue or not is if you can look at yourself in the mirror and confidently be able to tell that your significant other treats you differently than he treats his best friend, then you know, like, that'll give you the answer. Because if you have no distinguishing features between, like, how your partner treats you and how he treats his best friend, that's, like, of the opposite sex, I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because, like, of course you're, like, intimate with that person, but at the same time, I don't think that just because you're, like, intimate with somebody gives, like, you know what I mean? It's all about the way you treat someone and how you speak to them and, like, the way they make you feel. It's, like,
Right.
when you're in a relationship, like, I think sometimes you can, like, fall into, like, routines. Does that make sense? And then when you're watching them interact with, like, their best friend and they're joking around with you the same way that they joke around with her, or, like, they, like, when you guys are in a group setting, it's as if you're watching him interact with you, but in a different person, that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes sense. I know that's, like, hard to...
I know it's a hard way to like share or like explain it. I
think every case too is very personal to the couple.
Yes.
Like, that's not for us to decide whether or not that's...
I think Kylie said it best though. Like if you can, it's all about how you feel. Like if you deep down know, deep down, like if you're talking to this best friend that's the opposite gender and you are, giddy with them and you share a lot with them, but like you maybe have I don't know, you'll know. I just feel like you'll know if you're oversharing with the other and not with your boyfriend or girlfriend. It's just like, I don't know.
That's tough.
Just respect who you're with in the moment.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Like, no, just ask them how they feel because if you're just doing it without even asking how they're feeling about it, I think that's wrong too. So like, just make sure they're okay with it. Because some people will be fine with it and some aren't. It's just a matter of like asking them.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I would say that's probably, because I could literally go on about it, I think, too, but it's like we have like other questions, and I think it's because it's like such a specific experience for the couple to like talk about, because everyone's going to perceive that differently.
Right.
And I think a lot of it comes down to like trust as well.
Yeah. Like if your boyfriend has like this girl that he is like best friends on Snapchat with, and they Snapchat every single
Well, that's kind of alarming. That's like,
that is where
what are you
like,
doing?
that's not a best friend anymore. Like that's more than a best friend that he's talking to. That's like
especially if they're like attractive and you're like,
oh yeah,
you're like,
if you're attractive and you guys Snapchat every day, you're done. You're done on you.
You're done.
That's a cheater.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Emotional.
My past trauma coming out, but then
but also like there's a such thing. I believe in emotional cheating, so like that could like classify, I think, but
a whole other topic too. We don't need to do that today.
No. All right, next question. I'll ask Gina. How the hell do I meet a guy who wants to be serious out of college?
So I've been out of the dating game for a while, so I cannot give dating advice, but I will say when you're out of college, I fear that men still aren't ready even right out of college to be serious. I think they still need a couple more years because they're just like, you would think that after like college they got that out of their system, but I don't think that's the case. So I finding the guy to be serious with, a lot of times after college you're meeting guys through like dating apps and stuff. And with that, just making sure that you like preface that you want a relationship, maybe if you're going through dating apps. But again, I don't know, where do people meet each other? At the bar? I don't know. I have no dating advice for you because I fear men still aren't mature even after college or even ready to settle down. So that's just me. That's my advice because I don't have any.
Um, I would say it's a tough question too because I don't really have advice either. Like I really don't.
Just say it.
I would say though, like your person will come to you when they're meant to come to you. And I don't necessarily think that you need to like look around to meet them. And that's kind of what I'm going to leave it at. You will be sent the person that you're supposed to be with, and they will just come into your life. And then you'll know. Like, I do believe that, like, when you know, and all you have to do is just like exist, and they will find you.
Oh, yeah.
Which I know is not like advice that people want to hear, but truly that's what happens when somebody is like meant for you. And just be yourself and just keep doing what you do and just try to work on yourself and be like the best version of yourself so that when that person does come into your life, you're ready to like accept them and give yourself to them. But that's like my best advice.
Yeah, honestly, we're not the ones to answer that because I don't know.
Why do you cover your face?
We just don't have anything to say to that. Well, we definitely would have to bring someone on here to answer that question that is like single and mingling and is out in the world of dating. Because I mean, I know like most people are just, trying their best out there. I've heard it's really not easy.
Yeah.
I heard it's kind of hard to find a person nowadays. So, like Kylie said, just it always comes when you're least expecting it. When you're not looking for it, that's when someone's going to show up and be like, that's the one. And it sucks to wait, but it's usually worth the wait. So that's what I would say.
Word.
Sister. Okay. Let's see. Bouncing off of that question, someone asked, you and Gina should discuss some relationship tips and what you found worked and didn't work. Anything pertaining to long distance would be helpful too. Kylie is the long distance queen.
I am, guys.
Take it away.
I am the queen of long distance.
Want to do the long distance tips first or relationship tips first?
I think I'll just okay, long distance tips, because I have it like in the top of my head right now. My number one tip, if you're going through long distance, and like of course like every long distance situation is going to be a little bit different, so kind of take it and use it how you will, but plan out when you're going to see them next. That is my number one tip for long distance, because it can be extremely like difficult to hold up your relationship if you guys are like not seeing each other for a while. And of course like everyone's like while is different. For me it was like months at a time, so like if I could plan out something where it's like I'm gonna see you in like X amount of time, like that helps because you guys both have something to look forward to during that time that you're working towards. And it's like when you do have those moments of like, oh, this like really sucks, or like, oh my god, like I hate to say it, but like crying yourself to sleep and like really like sad, and like they're missing out on those like moments in your life, that those like little but big moments, if you know what I'm talking about. And you can have that like to look forward to and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna see you, and just kind of count down until that date. That really helped me when I was doing it. I would say my second tip would be to like, and I know this is like, I heard this was like controversial the other day, which is like mind-boggling to me, but like plan out like dates that you can do like over the phone. Like have dinner together, like just sit down and talk together. So it's like you're kind of like in that moment with them, or like watch a movie together, like hang out with each other, where you're not just like talking, like, do those, like, activities where, like, talking isn't, like, leading the, like, situation, I guess, or whatever. Because then like, I could sit in silence with this person and talk. Not that you maybe you're just getting in a relationship. For me, when I first got into my long distance relationship, it was literally like the week after we got together. So like
Oh,
that's not that common, I would say. It's probably more common to like be together in like the physical way first for a while, and then maybe like your job brings you apart like after college, or maybe like somebody like has to move for like they get promoted or whatever. Like there could be so many different reasons for it, but like those two things really helped me, was like planning for the next time you're going to see them, and then also like doing those little dates with them. And I do think like talking throughout the day like helps. Like some people just so like don't talk if you don't have to talk. Like I want to talk to you all the time.
yeah, there are different pieces of advice. People say, like, don't talk till the end of the day so you can kind of catch up of the entirety of the day instead of, like, texting throughout. But to each their own, whatever
Yeah.
works best for your guys' relationship, I would say.
I just feel like that would be so hard because it's like I want to talk to you all day. And I also think if you're with the right person, you should never really run out of things to talk about.
Yeah.
So that's just my 2 cents. Everybody's different. And yeah, I would just say try to make them feel as special as you can while you're apart, and don't stop putting in effort while you're in long distance. Like maybe try and do a little bit more to make them feel a little bit more like loved and special when you're not around the other person, because obviously it is harder to do that when you're not next to them all the time. So just like going and like thinking about like little things, maybe you send them like a care package, or you coordinate like a little date that you guys can have together.
Surprise visits.
Yeah, those little things that kind of show like you're putting in that extra work to make it work.
Yeah.
I would say are like the biggest tips that I have.
Also, just like a side note on that is just make sure your partner, whoever you're with, that you guys are like both reciprocating and both doing work. Like make sure not one is putting in more effort than the other. Like if you're noticing you're only making the extra effort for them, or maybe you're not doing anything and they're doing it, it's like make sure it's equal. Because I feel like I find sometimes with long distance relationships, like it can be really one-sided, and sometimes you don't realize it because you guys aren't together and you don't really see it fully. So just make sure like that they're putting their end in and you're doing your work too, because it's just as important.
Also, last thing I'm going to say that just made me think of that was like sit down with them maybe like once a month, or like however long you have to do long distance for, but like plan it out so like you guys can have like periodic check-ins with each other and be like, how's this going?
Yeah.
How do I feel about what you're giving? How do you feel about what I'm giving? And what can we improve on? Like have those like check-ins with each other, because it really is so easy to fall into like a routine where you're not trying anymore, because you don't have to like, it's more work and it's less work, but in different ways. So just like have those like check-ins with each other and make sure you're on the same page.
Communication is
Communicate to the best of your ability. Just talk and like be honest with each other, and don't be afraid to ask for something. And just kind of vocalize how you feel, and like let them also vocalize how they feel, and like you'll be fine.
It's a two-way street, especially with long distance. So over communicating is huge for that, I would say. And then outside of just like long distance, obviously the question was like relationship tips, what you found worked and didn't work. I feel like this is a pretty big question. So I don't know how to like tackle it. But something that Kylie and I say all the time, and then we talk about like often, is just make sure that you guys are best friends. Like at the end of the day, like a lot of times you find relationships like don't have that best friend aspect to their relationship. And I know for my relationship, that is like the biggest part of it, is that we are best friends at the end of the day. So I would say make sure that you are best friends with your partner. That's one thing that I know has helped my relationship kind of get better.
That's like the best tip truly that there is, because I think going off of somebody asked us earlier, can you have a best friend in a relationship? I think if your partner is not your best friend, you're going to go look for that somewhere else. And that's the problem that
A lot of
That's another issue.
a lot of people find in their relationships.
And that's okay. Like, if you realize this person's not your best friend, then, like, at least you know type thing. But I do think that correlates in some way. Like, if you're not dating your best friend, you're going to go look for that male best friend energy from our perspective, male, that gives that to you. So that's extremely important. That's the number one tip, I would say.
Yeah, that's like pretty much like
on the bike.
That's it. Pretty much it.
Yeah.
But in terms of what didn't work,
I think letting people be who they are and not trying to like overpower them with like what you want them to be. Or like even if you're talking to them, because we've said this before, but I have a horrible tendency to like put words in people's mouth. Like it's so bad. I hate it. But like what doesn't work is when you try to like have conversations with people and like you're just kind of talking for them. Or another big thing is like, which I'm very guilty of, so I'll just put myself on the spot right here, but what doesn't work is like if somebody does something to upset you and you internalize that and you don't vocalize it right away and you let it like fester and become a problem, and then something else they do, like maybe they didn't put the dishes away and be like, holy shit, it's just like I'm gonna explode.
Yeah,
like it just kind of piles up right like that. So my biggest tip for like stuff that doesn't work is like thinking that you can just get over it on your own. Just talk about it. If you are with the right person, they will always talk to you about whatever it is and never make you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
But it's better to just take care of it right away than it is to just like bottle it up and think that you're being the stronger one in that scenario, because you don't have to like you're afraid that your partner's gonna be like, oh my God, she's mad again.
Yeah.
Or like something like, just like talk about it.
That's huge.
And also be like super, super, super conscientious of the things that bother them, because I've said this before, but you should never have to tell somebody to do something more than once, maybe twice. And if you do have to repeat yourself, they don't care. That's just my philosophy. That's maybe a hot take. Sorry if I offended you, but that's just how I am, because I do that with the people, so I expect that in return. Like if you tell me something that I did that upset you, I'm not going to do it again.
Right.
And if I do it again by accident, like I'm really going to be like sure that I don't do it again, because you should never be purposely trying to make your partner upset. And like they should change for you if they care.
Yeah, I think like the biggest thing you can do to hurt your relationship is not let everything out.
Yeah.
When you keep like stuff bottled up, you're going to crumble. Your relationship's going to crumble. And coming from like my personal experiences of like really like disloyal relationships in the past, I brought a lot of that into my current relationship. And there were so many times where I just wanted to bottle all of it up and not speak of like even the little things that I would say that maybe would come off crazy. I was like, oh, I don't want to say that because I'm going to scare him away or something. It's like, just say it. Like, just say the crazy shit. Because if you don't, you're going to it's going to eat you up alive, and you're never going to like get past it or get better. Like, if you're with the right person, they won't think you're crazy. They'll want to talk through it with you and help you feel better. And that's how you'll know. So if you don't say it, you'll never know if you're with the right person. So over communicate, like don't keep anything left inside. You'll know that if you're with the right person.
Yeah, and I think too, like the last thing for like maybe what would work is like from the get-go, or even like it's never too late to do this, but in the beginning, if you can, like just be so honest about what you need and want out of this person, because life is too short to be like sacrificing your needs and wants just to fit the mold of somebody else. Like if they won't give that to you, somebody else will. And I'm not trying to get all deep here, but like truly, like be very vocal about it. Like what are the non-negotiables? Bring your non-negotiables, have them bring their non-negotiables, and literally sit down and talk about all of them. And if they tell you a non-negotiable that you do not think you're capable of like putting forth, then you know. But it's better to get that like hashed out in the beginning, because when you have like false expectations of people, you're literally breaking your own heart at the end of the day. And that's when like problems come up and you're like, oh, like, you know, you maybe expected them to do this, but they are under no assumption that you wanted that. And then it's just like a broken relationship.
But like you said too, it's like those checkups. Even in a long-term relationship, you need to do those checkups. Like I will have that with my boyfriend, be like, how are we doing? Like, are we still good? Like, are we still enjoying life? Are we still, you know, doing the things that we want to do? Because even years down the road, like what you want out of a relationship can change. So
Yes.
having those conversations, even in a long-term relationship,
Yes.
sometimes even more important that way too down the road.
I
Because
agree.
especially when you're growing up with someone, like I started dating my boyfriend when I was 19. I'm gonna be 24. Like you change a lot as a
Mhm.
person. So just checking up and making sure you guys still want the same things.
I think yes, because relationships should be fun at the
Yeah.
end of the day. And I hate that there's like this assumption that like yes, relationships are hard, but I think sometimes like that overcrowds
Mhm.
what a relationship is meant to be. Like it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be easy. You're supposed to be like living and enjoying life with this person, not feeling like you have to like live up to this insane standard your entire time, or like you can't just like let loose and have fun. It has to be like all this work, or if it is like really easy and fun, that there's something wrong with it. Like I hate that that's like a stigma around relationships. And I think that I could go on for probably 3 or 4 hours about relationship advice. So maybe
Yeah,
we
we
can
definitely
talk about it again.
more advice on relationships, like once you're in one, than like how to get a boyfriend
Yeah.
because we're just out of the dating game. But when
Yes.
it comes to like staying in a long-term relationship,
Maintaining it,
yeah,
or just like literally like being like able to assess
yeah,
what's going on. Like,
mhm,
oh my gosh.
we can definitely dive so much more into that. Um, but that's pretty much our tips on that.
Yeah.
So that's the questions we're gonna talk about or answer in this episode. But we definitely want to do this again. Obviously, we'll have an episode talking more in depth about relationships because it was really nice to have this like little bit of doing it because we do like to talk about it. But that's the questions we're gonna do for today.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. I mean, I know like sometimes we got off on like a tangent with things, but in terms of like relationships, there's so many aspects to them. And then like most of the questions that we did get were on relationships.
Mhm.
So like if it's something that like is interesting, like we can obviously go into much more detail about it. This was very fun. I love like just talking about like relationships. I could just literally
Because this is like what our conversations are.
this is literally what me and Gina do. Like we just talk back and forth about it.
Yeah, big. We talk a lot about relationships, so it was nice to answer some of your guys' questions on it because I know that's all we want to hear. That's all we want to know about. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll be able to talk more about this in another episode. Yeah, so I think that's all for now. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll chat with you guys next time.